Hello, I'm Rico Cavella. I'm going to welcome you to your Ageless Body Self-Care Guide, the operations manual for your body and for your mind. And the topic of this session is about longevity. And I'm truly excited about this topic because we're going to get some real clarity on what you really need to know about not only living longer, but living better and staying healthy all of your life. And when I think of longevity, I think of the saying that everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die, right? And so I think that shows that everybody really wants to live as long as possible. But the challenge is, that we now know that our genetic potential is actually to stay healthy to at least 125, but yet our life expectancy is only about 78. So this is a very important and relevant topic. And we have a great longevity expert with us today. Her name is Dr. Melissa Peterson. She's a doctor of chiropractic, an epigenetics human performance success coach, and she has a master's in wellness leadership. She is also a best-selling author of the Longevity Codes. She's a podcaster, founder of the Impact Experts Network, and Chief Limitless Officer and Director of Aperian Academy of Epigenetics. So welcome, Dr. Peterson.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
My pleasure. We're so happy to have you here. So let's get right into it. So my first main question is, how long should we be living? And then talk about the new science of epigenetics.
So how long should we be living? First and foremost, there's two answers to it, right? It's how long do you believe you should be living? So we absolutely know that our own internal belief is going to inform our biology and absolutely have an effect of our own potential expression. What the science is showing, and you already touched on it as you were doing the intro, there's really two sides. Classical science says, hey, physiology is tapped out by, now they've extended it a little bit to 125, right around 120. Yet, what we know through all looking into not just epigenetics, but really to regenerative medicines and the breakthroughs in the science and technology industries, that we're really looking at the ability to kind of reset our genetic code literally and create this regenerative process that some are saying 200, others are saying 500. And of course, Aubrey de Grey is out there saying 1,000. So, hey, there's this huge field of possibility, but it all begins right here because, as you said, a long life isn't worth living if we're not living it well and thriving beginning right now, starting today.
Yeah, that's really the key. This is a really exciting time. We're learning so much, and this field of epigenetics is really fascinating. So I think the next question, what's important question is really, why is it important that we try to live longer and stay healthy?
So, well, it's up to you if you want to. Why is it important? There's two sides. Like, do you want to live a life of struggle, of just surviving, of pain, of diagnoses, of, just a poor quality of life? I don't think that many of us do. So why is it important? Well, the beautiful thing about the very nature, like the intelligent design just of DNA, and I'll take 1 second, Rico, in case people don't understand epigenetics, just to qualify and to give you the short version. Epigenetics is the science of understanding how your genetic blueprint is actually expressed. So it's important to know that our genes are not our destiny. Our genes are truly just a blueprint of potential. And so that's there, all the code, all the information that we could ever need to be able to not just survive, but to truly thrive in any terrain, right? And so what epigenetics is the signal, the information, it's the inputs, the information. It's this highway, if you will, from the outer world and our perceptions, our thoughts, our habits, our beliefs, and our interactions with it to the inner world, right down, right above the DNA and the cell itself. So it is what signals to say, hey, it's a thriving environment out there, or it is survival zone, like hunker down. We can go really thrive, or we've got to survive. And so it helps to create this understanding of, to the DNA, do I need to be activated? And in what ways? Am I turning on or turning off? Am I turning up or am I turning down? And so now this blueprint of potential, we recognize, wait a minute, there's so much informing it that we can become actual co-creators with expressing our own potential. Again, we no longer have to just live by chance and just hope it's one size fits best, or this diet will, all of a sudden be the miracle for me. We're all uniquely designed. and our code expresses our unique individual potential. And so when you said, well, why should we want to live longer? I'll make the assumption that everybody wants to. I'm going to just assume right now, if people are watching, they're really curious and they're learning in. And instead of saying, well, why should I live longer? Because I'm not here to convince you that you should. You've got to make that decision, right? Like, do you have a desire? And even if you don't know how long you want to live, do you have a desire to truly live your best expression? Because again, the way you're designed, right down to the DNA, is you're designed to evolve. And evolution means new levels of expression. It means expanding beyond what is into new states of being and becoming. So that means, like, every moment of every day that we are here on this journey until we transition out of this form is an opportunity for more of what we love, whether it's more peace and relaxation, more energy and vitality, more creativity, more love, more connection. Each moment is literally programmed in that we have this desire to want to go out and explore and connect and live more fully.
Wow, so well expressed. Thank you so much for that. I just want to add, I'd like to tell people that we need people to be healthier and to live longer, because as everybody knows, we as humanity are facing some monumental challenges in the world today, right? From environmental, and we're still having wars and killing each other and a lot of stupid things going on, right? So we have a lot of challenges. So we need people to be healthy and to live longer so they can use their unique talents and abilities to help, come up with solutions for these challenges. And I think, we need more people as we age, because as we age, we gain wisdom and knowledge. But unfortunately, so many people are just becoming old and sick and dying way too young. And so they're not living to their full potential. But you expressed that so well. And then just real quickly, so then what I get, from the study of epigenetics is that our genes are not locked in stone, so you can't blame things on your genes anymore. Because our genes can be affected by our external and our internal environments. All right. So let's talk about what are the main factors. Well, let's talk about what are the main reasons that people aren't living so long, and what are some of the main reasons that we think that we need to do to increase longevity, and maybe mention just a little bit about the blue zones.
Well, before we go into the blue zones, because I'm sure people have heard a lot about that. You said, so kind of why. So let me just break that down. Why do we age and why do we not have to? And so if we look through the scientific lens, back in 2013, the first big kind of study to bring all of the different theories on aging together in the hallmarks of aging. So there are 9 understandings of what happens in the body, beginning at the genetic level. And it takes a little too long to go through all of those today. They're inside of my book, The Codes of Longevity, but I'll just let you know that there's 9 of them. And the first 3 primary are, going to be DNA alterations. They're going to be changes with the telomerase, as well as epigenetic alterations and expression. So it's all around your genome. And it's saying what's happening out there that's influencing the expression, the rate, the proper replication or breakdown, mutations, etc. And if I were to add up the entire ingredients of those 9 hallmarks, and I had to simplify it here in 60 seconds or less, truly what's happening from the moment we're born and begin breathing is there's metabolic breakdown and accumulation over time. And dis-ease, dysfunction is an accumulation of metabolic chaos that sets in day after day, year after year. And because of how we're living in modern times, most of us are eating processed foods. We're not sleeping right. We're not eating right. We're not thinking right. We're not moving right. We're not loving. We're not connecting. We're not, in really rhythm with our natural circadian rhythms, with nature, with just our own natural energetic frequencies. And so what that means is we're all kind of living these busy hustle bustle, efficient lives by drive-through and whatnot, and helping to give us back some time. We do it all because we just need more time. So we think it's for efficiency, yet we don't realize that the cost to our systems. And so there's just this slow burn. It's not going to be one thing that makes you feel like crud. It's a slow accumulation of these, I'm going to, group them as stressors to our system. And if we're not giving our system time to rest and reset and digest and rejuvenate and restore, all we're going to have is constant breakdown, constant dysfunction that leads to dis-ease and disease. And so when we begin to look at these levers, there's a lot that can happen to first slow down the accumulation and then actually move into reversing it. So that's where we start to get into some of these age reversal therapies and treatments and technologies and things that we can do. And again, keeping it grouped because we have little time today. The first thing is the awareness of stress as a category: physical, mental, emotional, chemical, environmental. Now, there's a lot that goes into all of that. Yet, if you were simply to get curious about stress in your life, stress is meant to be good. Stress is the little twinge to the system that allows us to evolve, that allows us to become anti-fragile, not just resilient and adaptable, but anti-fragile. So we continue to become stronger and more capable as we go and grow and evolve as humanity. But what happens is the kind of stressors that we're living in today in all of those categories, it's slow, it's chronic, it's accumulation. It doesn't stop. The foot's always on the gas. Even if it's just, going 35 miles an hour, it's still always on the gas. We're not taking that time, and the system isn't getting to properly remove the metabolic, waste and breakdown and chaos. It's not getting the chance to fully heal. So if we begin to simply acknowledge our stressors, and the best thing people can start to do is just to practice a toggling out of stress into rest and reset. So from sympathetic into parasympathetic is one of the first things that we can really do to begin to support our system.
Yeah, that's so important. I was just going to ask you, what would you say would be let's say what would be the top 3 things that people could do immediately? And I know that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree. It's slow down and take a step back and relax a little bit and get out of this stressful mode that so many people are caught up into.
Yeah, I think really step one is recognizing that you're stressed. Many of us don't even acknowledge it. So just getting this and this reconnected, right? Head and body, let's start there. And so one of the fastest things that you can do just to toggle is stimulating the vagus nerve. So working on what's called vagal tone. And it's something as simple as humming, gargling, singing, even talking, but breath is another huge thing. It's a huge lever. We're breathing in anxious states all the time. So simply by beginning to breathe in and out through the nose only, no mouth breathing, that's going to accelerate that metabolic activity at a cellular level. So closing the mouth, breathing in and out softly, gently through the nose, and then becoming intentional once you first notice your rate of breath to begin to really see if you can slow it down. So the ideal breath rate that's really going to support your body to be in a nice kind of more sympathetic, parasympathetic rather tone is going to be between 6 to 8 breaths per minute. Now, most people are doing at least 12, upwards of 16 to 20 breaths per minute. And that truly is what's called anxious breathing. It's the same as if you're hyperventilating. And so what that does to your brain, your neurochemistry, your physiology, it let's just say it throws you out of whack. So let's just focus on that breath too. Okay. So slow down that breath. And, if you really want to look, you said blue zones. So if we were to take some of just the wisdom from the blue zones, I think overwhelmingly the next thing that any of us can do there's 2 big things, 2 big things in your control. Let's say there's 3 big things in your control right now. Eat less, 300 calories less a day. Okay. So really and truly consuming less food is going to work with these are very specific pathways in our body that speed up or slow down the rate at which we age. And so we want to activate what's called the AMP-K pathways. Eating less and doing something like an intermittent fasting window helps with that. And you can get the benefit in as little as 12 hours. So don't eat after 7 p.m. Don't eat until at least 7 a.m., right? At least have 12 to 14 hours in between last meal, first meal, and you're going to get that benefit. And then finally, and I know this is your passion, is exercise. Exercise alone is shown to impact and well, let's just say impact more than 7,000 genes
Yeah.
in your body, right? So like you're like, what's the magic bullet? First of all, there is no one magic bullet. You're a dynamic bioinformatics system. It's called a complex system. So there's not just one input that equals one output at all, even though that's how we're marketed to and made to believe that it's a one and done. It's not. Yet if you want something that can have this really profound impact on your system, then what I call it's your longevity stack, right? So are you moving? And it's not just exercise going to the gym. Like you look at all these blue zones, it's natural movement. So
Mhm.
it's natural movement in the natural world. It's not just go grind it out in a gym. So step one is, can you get up and can you move throughout the day, little bursts all day long? And of course, eating less, but they eat less because they're eating clean, natural, whole foods. They're not eating things out of boxes and bags and cans and drive-throughs, right? It's from the ocean, it's from their gardens, it's off the trees. So that already cues us in to kind of what is that primitive design that our bodies like to thrive by. I'll say this, that I do the work I do through precision longevity is when a client comes to work with me, we begin with their DNA. So we look at their genetic blueprint. So I'm not going to just give you general information. We all actually thrive with different types of exercise. We thrive even more to greater benefit with specific types of nutrients and micronutrients and macronutrients for our bodies. So it's important to remember we're all still really individual instead of just trying to generalize. But these are proven across all the literature, right? These are the big levers. And last but not least, it is essential. You want to heal, you want to detox, you want to repair, you want to restore, you want to rejuvenate. You must make sleep a priority. 7 to 9 hours, less than 7, more than 9 on both sides impact rate of mortality. Sweet spot's going to be 7 to 9. Some of us genetically can do less with like just right around 7. Some of us do need more in that 8.5 to 9. That is a priority. Impacts everything else.
Wow, that's so well expressed. Thank you so much for that. I just want to add on the exercise thing. Uh, so many people uh, are actually prematurely aging them by over
Yes,
exercising, doing
100%. Yeah.
way too much exercise, running marathons and running
Yep.
all the time and doing hardcore workouts. Really, all they're doing is exhausting you, really. So,
Mm-hmm.
especially as we age, we need to do more things like just power walking, swimming, dancing, yoga, those kind of things. But any
Mm-hmm.
real hardcore, I'm not saying you should never do any high intensity workouts, but really, if you're really working out really hard all the time, you're actually aging yourself.
Yeah, you definitely need to do resistance 2 to 3 times a week. You don't need
Right.
more than that, but you've got, muscle is obviously one of the essential ingredients to longevity. You've
Yeah.
got to maintain muscle. And that doesn't mean you have to go pump big weights. You can do it with resistance bands, your own body's resistance,
Right.
but that is an essential one. And yes, long-term cardio is going to grind you out. You go for longer than 39 minutes at a high intensity, you're moving into a stress cycle. So it's really good just to say, yeah, I'm going to go out for like 20, 30 minutes. I'm going to keep it a mild to a moderate intensity. And you've always got to give yourself time to recover. And that's why so many people are aging themselves, because they're not recovering. And that's what I really love about one of the things we do with my precision longevity programs is we bring in a ton of, wearable technology to help people to really not just guess, but to be able
Mhm.
to assess their system and how their system is responding, because they might think, I'm great, I feel amazing. And their body battery is showing that it's tanked and they have not recovered and they need another
Yeah.
day. Like, no,
Mhm.
you're not doing fantastic. You need to sit down and rest, right? So
Breath. Yeah,
yeah.
that's so good. Dr. Peterson, Melissa, thank you so much. That was so good. It's such important information. And I just want to add that, uh, in addition to what you just said, was first of all, you have to understand that you can live a lot longer and healthier, and you have to
Mhm.
believe that longevity is something that you can achieve. So that's where we got to start with it. Then also, I want to remind our viewers that this video, it comes with a PDF with all the information of how you can contact Dr. Peterson and learn more about what she has to offer. You definitely want to go to her website and check out her book, The Longevity Codes. And she has a lot more there to offer you. So we
Mhm.
highly recommend that you stay connected to there you
Yeah,
go,
there it is.
all
Codes
of
of
our experts. They
longevity.
have lots more to help you to get and stay healthy and vital and energetic for life. So again, thank you so much. And so I like to always end by telling people, to remind people that knowledge without action is useless, right? So you got to take action on what all this great information that you're getting from all of our experts. You got to take action on it. So that's what it is. Just got to step up and do it, right?
Yes.
So thank you so much. That was really great.
Thank you so much. It was great being here.
Thank you.